Thank you, Mayor. Bob Weeks, 2451 Regency Lakes Court in Wichita. Just had a few remarks and questions really also as well, some I think that haven't been answered yet. You know, we do talk about these bonds capturing only the increment in sales tax. That'd be the case with a store like the Target store, but I note that the Cabela's store, its incremental sales were calculated during a period when the store wasn't even open. So all of the sales tax that Cabela's generates, except for their community improvement district tax, then goes into the a coffer to be used to pay off the star bonds for the benefit of the project developer. So that begs the question, why is the Cabela's store included in the boundaries of the star bonds district? Because some people might support the idea of star bonds using the rationale that the development is capturing new sales tax revenue that it itself is responsible for creating. If we accept that argument, then we're still left with the question as to why the Cabela's store is included in the Star Bonds district. Same thing for the Target store and the other retail stores that are included as well. And that leads even to a bigger question I'm troubled about. Why do we even need taxation if we can simply excuse some from participating in the system? Can't any business make the claim that it is creating new sales tax revenue that it alone is responsible for creating? And if so, why don't we offer these businesses the same privileged status that we are offering Good Sports? I notice the city doesn't provide a cost-benefit study for this project, and that, you know, that's the usual mechanism we rely upon to justify our investments in economic development projects. I did notice that the enabling legislation for star bonds requires a feasibility study that provides, and I quote from the statute, the expected return on state and local investment that the project is anticipated to produce. So I don't know if that's been performed. I don't know what the results are. I think I've read a lot about this project and I haven't seen that. Furthermore, we know developers oftentimes appear before this council and other governmental bodies asking for incentives because they claim the project is not economically feasible without taxpayer or government assistance. Is that the case with this development? And if not, why do we need to provide taxpayer subsidy to this business? And if taxpayer subsidy is required for this development, then we really need to ask, what is it about Kansas and Wichita that discourages this type of business investment? I do call this council's attention to the analysis of the Tax Foundation from about this time that year that found that business tax costs for business in Kansas ranked 47th and 48th among the states on two different measures. And what we're doing today, this special type of tax favoritism and cronyism, really just increases the cost to government for everybody else. And that begs another question. Is this project eligible for, and will it apply for, any other economic development incentives, plus such as tax increment financing and a community improvement district tax? I don't believe that these programs are mutually exclusive. You know, just I'm reminded of an editorial from the Wall Street Journal last year that said, instead of protecting our liberty and property, government officials are determining where to send our resources based on political influence. In the process, government gains even more power and the ranks of bureaucrats continue to swell. I don't think that that's economic development. It's not productive. It saps the entrepreneurial vitality that once marked this town and replaces it with a government handout. Those are my remarks and my questions, a couple that I'd really appreciate an answer from, and of course I'd be happy to answer questions if there's time.
Good questions. Okay, no questions.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good morning. I have some concerns about this project. It seems like we're taking tax dollars from the citizens of Wichita and giving it to already wealthy developers to create a lot of jobs that are going to keep people below the poverty line. These retail jobs and these service industry jobs, they keep people living below the poverty line. We've got poor kids all over the city. I can't remember the number now, but we've got a whole lot of homeless children in this city. How does this benefit them? Their parents can't afford to bring them to these great sports complexes and water parks. We have schools to take care of tournaments for sporting events. I mean, are the low-income kids, because these, you know, tax dollars went into this, do the low-income kids get to use them for free? That's all I'm asking.
That's good. Well, if it's like any of the others, I'm sure that they do provide a way for them to be able to use these different facilities, and some of these facilities will also be used by schools. When schools are coming to the city of Wichita, it may have a national competition or something of that nature, and so they get an opportunity to be able to use these facilities also here.
Mm-hmm. But why are we developing these new neighborhoods when there's so many neighborhoods in Wichita right now that already exist that need so much help? I mean, look at South Broadway. Look at the areas where you're having the most crime. I mean, wouldn't it be smarter to develop in those areas with our tax dollars and then think about expanding the city? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand everything about real estate, but I understood everything Mr. Weeks said, and I would usually be in disagreement with Mr. Weeks on a lot of things. But I also disagree with Mr. Meitzner, Councilman Meitzner, your assertion that this is free market. If I want to go develop some land, you're not going to give me tax dollars to do it with. So, I mean, that's not free market. These guys rub the right shoulders, they have the right connections, maybe they made campaign donations, I'm not sure, but that's why they get the tax dollars, and the people who want to help the poor don't.
Sir, you're welcome to, you're saying, why don't you get something? There's
well,
all
I don't
kinds of
personally
rules.
want anything.
Oh, well, there's application rules that are set by state law and city ordinance laws that you can apply for any idea and any idea you might want to have. I would also comment that my experience is that our YMCA program has been documented as one of the best programs in the nation, which caters to a lot of the people that, caters the whole city, but it caters to a lot of the people that you've talking about that may need assistance. I could argue that our charitable organizations in this town are per capita are second to none in supplying services and feeding and shelter. It's not perfect, but I would measure our city per capita on the in the terms of charitable organizations against any city in the country.
Unfortunately, per capita leaves a whole lot of people left out. We're worried about the people that aren't in the per capita. You know, I mean, statistically speaking, maybe we're great, but people aren't statistics.
That's our goal, is to, my goal is to help the best we can on the whole city. And this can help, because when this adds more tax base to the government agencies, the county and the city, then there's more funds to do infrastructural and support services.
But why can't these already wealthy companies, these developers and the, you know, whoever's developing the land, why can't they develop it without our tax dollars?
They're putting $90 million into this phase right now. That's kind of a lot of money.
Well, sure, but don't they have the other 6? I mean, I'm just, why, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't understand why our tax dollars go to this when our schools are failing, and I know the schools aren't run by the city, but there's so many other things that need money and need attention now, and we're giving these rich people our tax dollars. This is what Occupy, I mean, I'm with Occupy Wall Street. My name is Michael Schatz. And this is what we're talking about. You're taking our tax dollars, you're taking money from poor people and giving it to rich people.
Thank you for your comments.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The only other thing I'll mention, Mayor, and I've thought about not mentioning, but I think it's appropriate to at least say something. I'm good with a difference of opinion. I think it gets us thinking about issues. What I don't know is when this forum became popular to throw accusations out and make remarks about whether people are on the take, or if you rub the right shoulders, you can get what you want. You know, give us facts, share your difference of opinion, we recognize that there's a First Amendment right, but I'm not sure this forum is the place to throw accusations out about individual council members. So would encourage folks to take a different approach.